So today I want to talk a little bit about mental practice makes for perfection. Perfection is really fleeting and an impossible task, but one thing about trading is you do have to have a plan, and you do need to execute that plan. And one way that I like to do it is by writing a narrative. But part of writing that narrative is basically mentally rehearsing and practicing what I will do when certain price levels are attractive to me as either a buyer or a seller. So think about it this way. If you were to undergo, say, brain surgery, would you care if a surgeon regularly carried out mental practice of that operation, or would you only be interested in the physical practice? And the reason why I ask that question is I think it's important to not only be a trader in the sense of putting on a trade, managing a trade, and exiting a trade, but you also have to go through the process mentally rehearsing of what happens in that trade. So by mental practice, I don't mean just necessarily getting psyched up or making plans or getting in the right frame of mind. I mean mentally running through the physical movements required of that operation. Now, a lot of times I will actually think about, hey, I want to buy $2,800, I want to sell $2,900, and I envision those prices being hit as I carry on the following day or the next week. So when price levels get there, it's almost intuitive that I want to buy or sell at certain prices. So one of the things that a lot of folks have been doing, and there's been a lot of studies out there basically that say, and I'm going to use the surgical issue again just to kind of point out that there is some basis out there for saying this, but when students carried out live surgery, those that had used this type of mental imagery actually performed better on average than those assigned just to the book type of learning. So this is very important. Another example that I've seen cited out there, and it's really my favorite, is a British Formula One driver, Jenson Button. In practice, he sits on an inflatable ball, gym ball, with a steering wheel in his hands, shuts his eyes, and drives a lap of the circuit, all the while tapping out the gear changes. He does this in close to real time, so that when he opens his eyes, he's not far off the actual lap time. So that's pretty intriguing. Imagine sitting patiently for a trade to set up, and sometimes that can take a long deal of time. So sometimes just learning that practice of patience when it comes to trading, I think, is very important. So I think it's more about mentally rehearsing your cross-court forehand. Rehearsal could also be used for job interviews, important meetings, not just in what you'll say, but in how you will proceed and talk and carry yourself and interact with others. So mental rehearsal is very useful in dealing with relationships with your children. Also is a very important thing, or how you'll handle a phone call. So these things I know a lot of people do in their everyday life, but this is something I think you really want to employ and put into your trading world. Notice the type of mental imagery I'm talking about here. It's not so much about visualizing ultimate success. With all its attendant pitfalls, you really have to visualize the process, and the process is very important when it comes to trading. What works is thinking through the steps that are involved, how you will buy, how you will sell, how you will enter, how you will exit. All these things are important. Not only the motor skills that actually, believe it or not, take place in pressing a button to buy or sell even on a screen today. These exact actions you need to perform sometimes are the simplest things and what trip people up from trading. And also they over trading. So think about how many times you want to trade in a day. And for me, that's typically 1 to 3 times maximum. So to be effective, though, that you really have to put into this mental practice along with your daily narrative has to be done on a real-time basis. It should be systematic and as close to reality as you can make it. Not just daydreaming, that won't work. You really have to seriously close your eyes, imagine yourself pressing the button, how you feel when you press that button, and how you deal with it. So if you make a mistake, you should work out how you feel and mentally correct it. You should also make the exercise as vivid as possible by tuning in to the sensory experience. How are you feeling? What's going through your head, your emotions? Are you sweating? Are you make detail. So what you can see, hear, feel, even smell is important. So think about this and this mental imagery in the game of trading, how you can use this type of tool in making a better trader out of yourself. Thanks, peace, and have a great evening.